If you are a student, likely you don't fail because you are not smart. You fail because you enter every exam with the same old habits, and nobody has explained to you that these habits are the reason you keep getting the same results. Before you fall into that cycle again, take a moment to listen closely. This is the pre-exam fix that nobody teaches in school. If you apply it to your next exam, your grades will improve, not because you suddenly became a genius, but because you will finally study in a way that your brain can understand. Let's break it down. The real problem, the exam failure loop. Most students experience what I call the failure loop, which looks like this. The teacher gives a lesson. You listen, but don't review that day. Weeks pass, and you forget about 70% of the material. The exam date approaches, and you enter panic mode. You pull an all-night study session. As a result, you go into the exam tired and confused. You promise yourself to do better next time, but next time, you end up doing the same thing. Sound familiar? You don't fail because you can't understand the topics. You fail because you try to learn everything all at once at the last minute. Your brain wasn't designed for that approach. It functions best with repeated contact with information. You forget because you didn't review, you panic because you didn't prepare early, and you waste hours because you lack a system. So, let's fix this loop. Why doesn't school fix this for you? The school provides you with content, but not an effective learning system. You receive chapters, assignments, and slides, but nobody tells you when to review, how often to practice, how to store information in long-term memory, or what to do in the week leading up to an exam. Consequently, you may revert to the default student method: listen, read, highlight, and pray. While this method may be sufficient to pass sometimes, it's not compelling enough to consistently achieve high scores. To do well, you need 3 things: see the topic early, review it in small chunks, and drill it before the exam. That's all there is to it. Let's turn this into a clear plan. The 3-part system don't fail this exam system. We will create a simple system that you can use for any subject. Part 1, pre-class preview, 5 to 10 minutes. Part 2, daily active review, 20 minutes. Part 3, exam week drilling. This is how top students make exams feel easy. They don't study harder the last day. They study earlier, in smaller pieces. Let's break down each part. Part 1, pre-class preview, 5 to 10 minutes. This is the smallest step, but it gives you a huge advantage. Before the class or lecture, open the chapter, review the headings, read the summary or learning objectives, and identify 2 to 3 key terms. Why? It makes the lesson clearer and helps the information stick. Most students encounter the topic for the first time during class, whereas you will be seeing it for the second time. That's why you will remember more. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes. Part 2, daily active review, 20 minutes. This step helps prevent forgetting. After class, many students close their books and don't look at them again until exam week, which is why they forget. Here's what you should do instead. On the same day, rewrite or summarize the main ideas in your own words. Ask yourself questions like, what was the formula? What did the teacher say about this? Can I explain this without looking? Use active recall. Try to remember the information without referencing your notes first. Then check to see if you were correct. Active recall is effective because it forces your brain to retrieve the information instead of just reading it. This is how you transition from short-term to long-term memory. Make it a rule. If I learned it today, I will review it today. You can complete this in 20 minutes, and you can even break it into 2 blocks of 10 minutes each. If you follow this daily, when exam week approaches, you won't be learning the material for the first time. You'll just be refreshing your memory. This is the difference between feeling stressed and feeling confident. Part 3, exam week drilling. This is the phase you are already engaging in, but we're going to make it more effective. Most students only read during exam week, while top students practice deliberately. During the 5 to 7 days leading up to the exam, your goals should be working on past papers, practicing questions, solving problems under timed conditions, and correcting mistakes. Why is this important? Because your exam won't ask, "Did you read the chapter?" It will ask, "Can you solve this?" Here's a simple 5-day exam week plan. Day 1 to 2, refresh, review your notes from daily studies, Highlight your weak areas and create a fix list of topics you need to revisit. Days 3 to 4. Practice drills and complete past papers or questions. After each question, ask yourself, why was this the answer? If you got it wrong, write down the correct steps. Day 5. Simulate. Complete one set of questions under exam conditions, no phone, set a timer, check how long you took, and identify areas to improve speed or accuracy. By following this plan, you will enter the exam with your brain already accustomed to the style of questions. This alone can boost your marks, even if your content knowledge isn't perfect. Example day for a real student. Let's make this practical. Imagine it's Tuesday and you have a math class. Here's how your day might look. Before class, spend 7 minutes reviewing the math chapter by reading the headings. After class, use 15 minutes to rewrite the formula and complete 3 practice questions. At night, dedicate 10 minutes to active recall. What were today's steps for solving? Total time, approximately 30 minutes. The result is that you will retain the material for next week. Now, compare this to a student who says, "I will study later." That later often never comes until exam week, when it feels overwhelming. You don't need to study for 4 hours a day. You just need small, consistent daily interactions with the material. Common mistakes that lead to failure, even if you study. Let's address 3 common mistakes that undermine your efforts. Mistake 1. Only reading, never testing. Reading feels productive, but it doesn't confirm your ability to answer exam-style questions. Always make sure to incorporate practice. Mistake 2. Studying randomly. When you study whatever you feel like, you leave gaps in your knowledge. To avoid this, use a list to track what you need to study and be aware of which chapters are coming up. Mistake 3. No review cycle. Learning a topic just once isn't sufficient. It's important to review the same material on the same day, again, 2 to 3 days later, once more a week later, and during exam week. This method is known as spaced repetition. What if your exam is close? You may be thinking, this is great for early preparation, but my exam is in 5 days. In that case, you can follow a compressed version of the study plan. Day 1. List all topics and identify your areas of weakness. Days 2 and 3. Study those weak topics and practice related questions. Day 4. Complete a past exam paper under timed conditions. Day 5. Review your mistakes and key formulas. Is this plan perfect? No, but it's definitely better than cramming 100 pages the night before. For your next exam, start preparations earlier. Even spending just 10 to 15 minutes a day will make the final week much easier. Don't let one exam define your identity. Many students fail once and then think, I am just bad at this subject. That's not true. You are not bad at it. You didn't have a systematic approach. Bright students aren't necessarily more intelligent. They are better organized. They revisit the material multiple times before the exam, practice regularly, and test themselves to ensure they are well prepared. That's why they enter the exam room feeling calm. So here's your new rule. I don't cram. I prepare. Before your next exam, preview the topic, review it the same day, and drill the material in the final week. Do this for 2 to 3 subjects, and you will notice a significant difference. Your stress levels will decrease, your confidence will increase, and your grades will finally reflect your true abilities. Don't wait for another disappointing result to make a change. This is your warning before the next exam. Make use of it. If this was helpful, consider subscribing and hitting the bell so your next exam doesn't sneak up on you again. Also, check out the next video, Why 95% of Students Never Reach Their True Potential. It's a follow-up that removes the barriers holding you back. Click it now. I will see you there.